When a group of hikers stumbled upon a solitary horse deep in the woods, they were left utterly baffled. How did a horse end up here? However, upon closer inspection, they uncovered an incredible story that will leave you amazed. Join us as we delve into the astonishing events that unfolded. Losing a beloved pet is a heart-wrenching experience that many can relate to. Whether a pet wanders away from the yard, escapes its leash, or goes missing in some other way, the uncertainty of their whereabouts is agonizing. Is your pet frightened, hungry, or in danger? What are they going through at that very moment when you cannot protect them? While it's distressing when smaller pets go missing, owners of larger animals like horses often assume they are safe from such worries. However, as our story today illustrates, even horses can vanish without a trace. Our tale begins with Susan Crawford, hailing from York, Pennsylvania, and her cherished equine companion, Play-Doh, a chestnut Paso Fino horse. Susan and Play-Doh frequently ventured on trips, participating in competitive trail riding events. To prepare for these competitions, they often trained in parkland areas, honing their skills on various terrains. Their bond was strong, and they navigated trails with the ease and expertise of seasoned riders. One fateful day, Susan and Play-Doh embarked on an unfamiliar trail, accompanied by a friend who was equally unfamiliar with the area. This trail led them into heavily wooded terrain, and as they reached a fork in the path, uncertainty gripped them. With limited visibility along the trail, they faced a daunting choice, ultimately selecting a direction at random. Unfortunately, their choice proved to be incorrect, leading them to a dead-end trail with a steep and precarious drop. They decided to turn back towards the main trail, but the path's edge began to crumble beneath them. As they slid perilously downhill, Play-Doh struggled to maintain his footing. Susan was unable to stay on her horse and was thrown off, while Play-Doh, frightened, bolted away. Their friend checked on Susan, and once assured of her well-being, set off in pursuit of the runaway horse. However, Play-Doh had vanished into the dense underbrush. Play-Doh still wore his distinctive neon-colored tack, and Susan hoped that this eye-catching gear would make him easy to spot. However, she couldn't rely solely on that possibility and immediately sought assistance. Upon returning to the campground, Susan mobilized everyone she could reach, including local authorities, to aid in the search for her horse. She launched a Facebook page to raise awareness about Play-Doh's disappearance and distributed posters throughout the area. Some local news outlets even covered the story. Numerous individuals and organizations, such as the Howard County, Maryland Police and the Maryland State Police, rallied to help Susan. The outdoor community also rallied behind her cause. The lead of Maryland Horseman Club joined the search effort, as did regular hikers and bikers in the park who scoured every possible area. Extra horses were brought in by the Horse Club, allowing more people to search the park daily, covering as much ground as possible. Despite the collective efforts and support, Play-Doh remained elusive. There were no sightings of the horse, no signs of his tack snagged on branches, and no traces left behind. This period of uncertainty and not knowing Play-Doh's whereabouts was agonizing for Susan. She struggled to sleep, waking up every morning with the hope that her cherished horse had somehow returned to the camp, only to be disappointed. Their story garnered widespread attention, with countless shares on Facebook and continued media coverage. Susan received numerous calls from well-wishers offering assistance or seeking updates. Then, on the 10th day since Play-Doh's disappearance, Susan received the call she had been desperately waiting for, a breakthrough. Without hesitation, Susan rushed to the farm where the horse had been found. From a distance, the horse bore a striking resemblance to Play-Doh, with the same coloring and size. However, as Susan approached, she realized it wasn't her beloved horse. It turned out that this horse had strayed from a neighboring farm, reuniting with its rightful owners. While Susan was pleased for the owners who had found their missing horse, her own ordeal persisted. 12 days had elapsed since Play-Doh's disappearance, and her anxiety deepened. However, in another part of the park, about 3 miles from the accident site, 3 friends, Emily Perryman, Vlad Constantina, and David Sugar, were preparing for a hike. As they set out from the Woodstock Inn on their trail, they noticed a lost horse sign at the trailhead. They found it incredulous that someone could lose an entire horse and joked about the situation as they began their hike. Little did they know, their journey would take an unexpected turn. As they ventured deeper into the woods, they heard strange sounds emanating from the underbrush. Initially apprehensive, they cautiously investigated the source of the noise, armed with flashlights to protect themselves. To their astonishment, they discovered a horse, alone and stranded among the trees. The horse was ensnared in the foliage by its tack, but the friends approached gently and cut it free. Despite their initial disbelief, they recognized the horse from the posters. It was Play-Doh. The friends led Play-Doh back to the inn, relieved to find him in relatively good condition after his harrowing ordeal. He still wore his saddle and tack, albeit not properly secured. While Play-Doh was visibly distressed and frightened, their gentle words and actions helped calm him. They were astounded that they had found the horse featured on the missing posters. Realizing the urgency, they contacted Susan, who was overcome with emotion. Upon arriving at the scene, she was overjoyed to see her beloved Play-Doh. The reunion was a heartwarming moment, and the horse appeared to express gratitude as he nuzzled Susan. After 12 days in the wilderness, Play-Doh's resilience was astonishing. He was not emaciated or dehydrated. Despite some cuts and minor scratches from his tack, as well as a larger cut on his leg, he was relatively healthy. Thanks to the unwavering support and efforts of those who cared deeply for Susan and Play-Doh, the duo was finally reunited. Their enduring bond and incredible journey served as a testament to the power of community and the resilience of the human.